major um, uh, partner for the economic development of Mauritius. Recent investments include our own metro. Investments include in health and in so many areas. So that closeness is extremely important to us, not only overall India, which is in itself for us a continent, but also for this part of the world, for this part of India, which is Tamil Nadu and Chennai. So, as you all know, 2-3 years ago, the world of tourism was brought to its knees, and Mauritius decided to close its borders for 20 months, from March 2020 to September 2021. We did this because the government took the view that the health of the population had no price. And in spite of us losing 15% of GDP, minus 15% negative growth in GDP, government took the view that we should protect the lives of our people before doing anything else. It cost the economy a lot, and it was only before the majority of our population were vaccinated, and fortunately, initially, thanks to donations and collaboration of India with vaccines. As you know, there was a race for vaccines all around the world. We were able then to open our borders on the 1st of October 2021. Prior COVID, Mauritius welcomed almost 1.4 million tourists. In 2022, which was the first full year of opening, we reached 1 million tourists. In 2023, 1.3 million tourists, and in 2024, objective is to reach 1.4 million tourists, which is the figure which we'd reached prior to COVID. What's interesting to note is that in spite that the figures for 2023 was slightly lower by 100,000 for the figures prior COVID, which was the 2019 figures, our revenues were stronger than they were in 2019, even adjusted for inflation, which meant that tourists coming to Mauritius was staying longer and spending more on the destination, which is extremely important. And this allowed the contribution of tourism, direct contribution, which was 8% of GDP, moved to 9% of GDP. This is the importance of tourism directly. Now, if we include the indirect, induced and catalytic effects of tourism, we get to over 20% of our economy based on tourism. Why am I saying this little background to you is that we are now on the path for growth. And our national airline, Air Mauritius, had a very difficult time, like many other airlines around the world, but is back in business after the government took the view that this national airline should be saved. It went through voluntary administration, left administration, and now is back on the path of growth. And that's why they are rebuilding back better and introduced the Chennai route. The Chennai is important not only for business but for people-to-people ties. And you might wish to know that there are over 30,000 Mauritians who traveled to India last year, compared to around 55,000 Indians who traveled to Mauritius last year. So when you consider the population base of Mauritius, which is 1.3 million tourists, and the population base of India, which is 1.3 million Mauritians recorded at the last census for 2023, 32,000 came to India. Mauritius, Indians coming to Mauritius, I mean, I think you are now over 1.4 billion Indians, 1.4 billion Indians. We had 55,000 last year. So you imagine the scope of what we can achieve by working together and bringing the peoples of our two countries, a small Mauritius and big India together for better people-to-people exchange. The Mauritians coming to India, a number of them come to Chennai, not only for medical, even though a large portion of Mauritians traveling to Chennai also come for medical treatment, but they also come to visit because of their origins and trying to build back. As you know, the Indian government has offered the possibility of getting the OCI ticket to India to a number of Mauritians, and there are a growing number of Mauritians agreeing to take their OCI and assume their origins as being from India. But as importantly as India has done this, has extended this facility to Mauritius, as importantly, Mauritius has extended another facility to the Indians. And this is the possibility of getting occupational permits to a number of activities, but also the possibility of buying property in Mauritius and having a second home in Mauritius, and for depending on the investment level, getting residency into Mauritius. So on the two sides, there have been initiatives to ensure that we are able to meet each other better. Now, as you know, connectivity is key for exchanges, and we are very pleased to note that with the start of the weekly service to Chennai, which I understand is only a first step from Air Mauritius, together with services to Mumbai by Air Mauritius and Vistara, and services to Delhi by Air Mauritius, we now have come back to the connectivity levels that we had prior COVID. And I understand from discussions with the airline community in India that there might be interest from other airlines to join the bandwagon of offering services between India and Mauritius. So we have come here again to reaffirm our attachment to this part, to India and to this part of India. We have come here to ensure that we meet the travel partners, to ensure that we are at their disposal for a direct contact, to ensure that we are able to develop their businesses to Mauritius, and likewise Mauritius travel agencies developing the Mauritian tourism outbound market to India. So, and we're doing it 6 weeks after, just to give you an indication that we mean business, that we want to develop our people-to-people exchanges and bring it to another level, and certainly much more to what it is today with the exchanges that we are promoting. So thank you very much. I'll now leave the floor to the director of the tourist office for any additional information he might wish to share.
I think we are open for questions. The chairman has summarized it beautifully.
Sorry?
What's the composition of tourists from India to Mauritius? What are the kind of people who travel?
Out of the 55,000 we got last year, you mean from where do they come from?
Where and who are they? Like, are they families or young people traveling?
Well, first of all, the connectivity has a big impact on where the tourists come from. Okay, so the connectivity out of Mumbai, which is the largest connectivity, with Air Mauritius going up to 6 frequencies with wide-bodied aircraft from Mumbai per week, and Vistara up to 5 frequencies per week. The Maharashtra region and the region around are the ones that are attracting the most of our tourists. The second area which is being targeted is North India via Delhi with the services of Air Mauritius, and you get you would capture from there the region. Okay, several states that are around the Delhi area, and obviously now with Chennai, we will have that direct service. And what the trade is telling us is a direct service is something to promote because they see as the Indian Airlines take over their international route development, they see direct flights being a very attractive proposal. So as the Indian Airlines develop their network and develop their routes, we see the future with direct connectivity, as they have themselves mentioned. Now, we have to recognize that there is a major operator onto Mauritius from India, and that major operator is Emirates. But in spite of their very strong presence in India, for traffic to Mauritius, they only represent 11% of the number of passengers to Mauritius. The major part of the passengers consists of direct flights to the tune of 83%. So even before the Indian Airlines go into the massive development that they are witnessing and transformation, the preference of the Indian customers for Mauritius was on the direct services.